What? Hey guys, it's Max here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a few orders to pull today and got a couple things to talk about. Give me just a second, I'll get set up and we'll get right back with you. Okay guys, Max here. I am the fast talking flipper. Angie is out helping Dennis in the shed. They are masking stuff off because today is paint day. We got all the sheathing up in the shed and all the insulation's done, electrical's done, everything's done in there. We're going to start painting today. The next step after paint will be floor, and then the next after that will be trim and shelves. So moving right along with that, we really should be done in the next week to week and a half of the shed. So we're going to come in ahead of schedule, I think, barring any major issue. I don't have electrical run to the shed just yet. It's out at the electrical box. I just have to hook it up, and I don't have the heater installed. We did finally finish with the heater. I ended up just getting a refund from Home Depot, and I drove down to the actual manufacturer itself and bought the heater, and I saved a few bucks doing it that way. It was supposed to be $1,780 for the heater and air conditioner just by itself, and I ended up getting it with the the disconnect box. That's what I was looking for. The disconnect box and the whip and everything, tax title, everything out the door for just under $1,500. So that was a pretty solid deal. I did have to drive 2 hours to go get it though. So that was the trade-off. But in the end, it worked out pretty good. Forgive me, I'm getting over a head cold and my voice isn't quite all there yet. But I did want to talk to you about a couple of things, and I did want to pull some orders. We've been getting cancellation requests, and I wanted to see what your take on it was. But I'm going to pull some orders. Well, Angie's already pulled them, and we'll go ahead and get that done. I've got 12 orders going out for $539 over the weekend. Not a great amount of stuff, but it is good enough, you know, that we had a decent weekend. I'll never complain about a $500 weekend on eBay just because that's a pretty solid weekend. If we can do $500 every weekend on eBay every 3 days, I'll be happy with that. Every 3 days, $500. That's not too bad. We would like to see more, obviously, but it is what it is. So the first item that sold for us was this guy here. I picked this up at an auction for $12, and it sold for $80 plus shipping. It did take it a while to sell. It took about 5 months, maybe 4. I can't quite remember. 4 or 5 months. But it sold for $80 plus shipping, and it's a really neat vintage mid-century modern 70s style mixer with bowls and everything. Not going to be fun to ship, but they're paying for it, so you know it is what it is. Man, I think we might have missed the mark on that because it said they only paid $12.88 for shipping. I don't think that that's right. Next item, the digital laser thermometer. Sold for $17.99 plus shipping. That came from our videography studio that buy out, so we don't have a whole lot into that one. Another set of the Neva Press pants, $26.99. It's the gift that keeps on giving. If you remember, I paid $75 for probably 30 pairs of pants, and we've sold, you know, several pairs out of there so far, and they sell. $26.99 is the cheapest ones that we have sold yet, so they sell pretty decent. The M&M's item here, $9.99 for M&M's at the movies in 3D. That one's a pretty cool little guy. Thought it would be worth more, but I think I gave $50 for probably 50 units of M&M stuff. Not a ton of money in them, but this one sold for $9.99 plus shipping. The rubber swim fins, green and blue. These ones here sold for $23.99. Came from our friends up at the free lot that we got from Lebanon, Indiana. So we don't have anything into those except for some time. $23.99 plus shipping on that one. The Coca-Cola Polar Bear Mini Clock, $9.99 plus shipping. It came in a lot with the M&Ms, and that was one of the items that came there. $9.99 plus shipping. Here's our next one. It is a set of women's Reebok shoes. And with that, my friend, there goes Mario. Bye, Mario. Bye, Bear. There's a set of women's Reebok shoes. They sold for $26.99. Excuse me. $26.99. And they sold over the weekend. Maybe a day or two goes by. And, you know, you're not even required to ship over the weekend. So it's not like we're behind on our burden for shipping. We haven't even had a chance to meet that burden yet to get them shipped. We get a cancellation request. Well, we didn't even get a cancellation request. We got a message asking us to cancel because they couldn't afford them. They've already paid for them. They couldn't afford them. Okay, that's just a weird thought process in my head. So it is what it is, but we don't want to put it through because it's going to ding us for asking for a cancellation. We're going to get the negative strike on that one, so we didn't want to do it. What do you do? And I don't want to wait on shipping to wait to hear back from these people because we told them they would have to put in a cancellation request, and we haven't heard back from them. And we're going to get dinged on the shipping side if we don't, because we have 1 day handling. And today is our 1 day. And today is our day to package stuff. So we're out here getting stuff together, and this is the time to do that. And eBay is going to note our account if we don't, you know, ship things in a timely manner. We love shipping things quickly. We make it a point that if we're actually out in the music barn working on stuff and a new order comes in, we'll ship it within seconds of it being put through, just to prove how quickly we do ship. And people, you know, have messaged us in the past and said, hey, there's no possible way that I ordered this 1 minute ago and you've got it shipped already. And we'll send them a picture of their label and say, actually, yes, we have. We've shipped it already. So, you know, that's something that we pride ourselves on, and we want to hear from you. What do you guys do when it comes to stuff like that? Do you wait and take the ding on the shipping in case that they, you know, they don't put in their cancellation request? Or how do you handle it? Just because, you know, we're kind of new to that kind of side of things. So I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think. But I'm going to move along for now. Last week's weekend pull video, I forgot to talk about the Haviland Limoges, the Haviland Blue Garland that's sold. And this is another set. These are butter pats. They would just hold a slice of butter in a proper meal kind of setting. And these sold for $19.99 plus shipping. We've got tons of them. We probably have 4 or 5 more lots. I've talked about the blue garland that we got before. We paid $37 for it, plus tax and buyer premium. We might have $50 total into it, all said and told. And we went back through and added it up. We were at $825 that we've made off of that lot, and we still have at least 20 lots of stuff to sell out of it. Probably another $500 easily to make out of that. So that was a dang good buy, and from now on I will always look out for that blue garland. But that's one of the few, very few and far between, that I would actually recommend getting. Next item, Magnavox DVD recorder with VCR. We did test this, make sure that it worked. Came out of our reseller lot that we got for $1,350, $79.99 plus shipping. We do have an issue. Somehow or another, it looks like we might have double listed an item that we don't have. And I'm not sure because we still have to go through and look at all of our stuff yet. But this item is Works by Red Wing safety shoes, another set that, and actually this isn't the exact same set that sold previously because we had multiple copies of this. But we sold this set, and the gentleman sent us a message after he got them. They were a size 14. So you know that the person that's getting them is probably a rather large and probably rather heavy person. Not to say that they're fat, but you know, somebody that wears a size 14 shoe probably isn't going to be 5'7". They're probably going to be 6'2", 6'4", 6'6", something along those lines. And typically with a taller person, they typically weigh more, especially if they have, you know, big feet. They probably got big hands, so on and so forth. Nothing, you know, no fat shaming or anything like that. I'm just saying that they're probably a big person. The Works shoes are not Red Wing shoes, and they're a cheaper version of the Red Wing shoes. Similar to how Chevrolet has Cadillac, and Cadillac is a more expensive brand, even though the trucks might be the same, platform or something along those lines. There's many manufacturers out there that have a cheaper line than their flagship line, Snap-on and Blue Point. Blue Point being the cheaper line of the Snap-on product. Works is the same way with Red Wing shoes. This gentleman got the shoes and wasn't happy with the quality of them. He said that they were a soft sole, and he just was not happy overall with the quality. And he started telling us about how we were terrible to him and how we sold him a junk shoe. And he kept comparing them to Red Wings. And I kept trying to get him to understand that these are not a Red Wing shoe. This is a Works shoe. And the fact that they look similar to the Red Wing shoe has absolutely nothing to do with performance. And he could not get that through in his understanding. And he was threatening all kinds of stuff. And I'm kind of glad that he did threaten things, because now I have a leg to stand on when it comes to eBay if he does try to give us some kind of negative feedback or whatnot, because that now this is feedback extortion. He was saying that if you don't return these, then I'm going to leave you negative feedback. Well, I'm not going to return them just because you're not happy with the quality of them. They are a shoe. They came in the way you thought that they were going to come in. You just didn't do your research on your end, and that's not our problem. So in the end, we did not return them. It probably was a negative experience for the buyer, but that's one of those ones that it was no way to fix the negative experience for the buyer. He was still not going to be happy even if we did return them. So it's, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But what would you have done in that situation? Let me know in the comments down below. Oh yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe, share the video, do all those kind of things. We're getting inching closer to that 100 subscriber mark. I think we're, 50, somewhere right around 50 or give or take. And, once we get to that 100 subscriber mark, we'll go ahead and do our first giveaway there. But getting back, we've only got 2 more items. I've got a Lego minifig. Leonardo looks like $14.99 plus shipping. Anytime I see minifigs out in the wild, I like to snatch them up because they typically go for decent money, or you can lot them together and they go for decent money, and people will usually give them to you for pretty cheap. I've got a Terminator Blu-ray disc sealed, and I think I paid $1 for this one. Went for $10.99 plus shipping. Oh, hi, Angie. She's come out to actually do some foreman type work. She's going to watch what I do. But that's our complete what sold from Friday to today. We do have to package this up and get it down to the post office before the end of the day. I think we've got some stuff that has to be shipped today just because of when it sold on Friday. I have been sick since last week. You might have noticed in some of the videos last week that my voice was starting to go out, and it did. It got pretty gross over the weekend. I'm feeling a lot better now, but yeah, it is what it is. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Like I said, subscribe, like, share, do all the different bleep bloops down below. Tell me what you think. We will have an update here in a day or two about the shed once I get the paint in there, and I think that you guys will like that. We've really been moving right along. I can't wait to get heat working in there and really start making some headway and get all this stuff moved so that we can start really, just cranking it up and showing what we think is really possible. I think that we'll probably do about 25% more volume than what we do now easily by just being in that shed, by just adding the shed. So for those of you who haven't seen it before, this is our wreck. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but just this out in the middle is what's very difficult to deal with, because this is all death pile type stuff. That's all death pile type stuff. That's all death pile type stuff. And we need to, have a space to where we can sort and do stuff with that. The idea is that all of our listed inventory, which is what all this is, all this here, all this, all of our shipping supplies. Oh boy, what in the world happened up there? I don't know. This is part of the reason why I hate stacking shipping supplies like that, because it's just not efficient. If one person knocks it over, it becomes the next person's problem. And, this just doesn't work for me. It makes my anxiety rise. But this is all our listed product. We're going to get this on a shelf and get it organized. We're going to redo our listing system. It's no longer going to be B2, U2. It'll just be A1 through 4 from floor to ceiling, B1 through 4, 4 to ceiling, and so on and so forth. 32-foot run of that, and then we'll have a large shelf for storing our large items like this stuff here, and that'll get sorted out. But then the idea is to, on these shelves that are in here, the idea is to put all of our death pile inventory in so that we can open up the floor in here in case that we do need to store anything. We can put pallets down or whatever so that we can store larger items and, you know, have this more cleaned up for processing things. So I was going to end the video a few minutes ago. I got to rambling again. My head's still foggy from being sick. And no, it's not COVID. It's just a head cold because I had no other symptoms. No loss of smell or taste or anything like that. No, the thing was just a lot of mucus and cough. And that was pretty much it. I didn't have a fever. I didn't have any body aches or anything like that. I was just tired from, you know, I didn't lose my appetite. Oh, I could probably stand to lose my appetite. But it is what it is. Until the next one, we'll see you on the next time.